I'm happy to bring good news for 49ers fans after the 49ers went in there and beat the New Orleans Saints in their home. Away win, a second away win, 2 wins on the road. That's 2-0. Your 49ers, I'm going to tell you all about what I think is really good news for the 49ers going forward in this video. Hit subscribe if you're looking for more 49ers content like that. Appreciate it. Let's jump into the comments, starting with number 1. Who was your standout player for the 49ers? If you had to pick one, who is that player that you felt like deserves a game ball? And obviously you can't just pick one. There's so many of them. But who really stood out to you? Was it D. Winters? Was it Upton Stout? Was it Fred Warner? Was it Nick Bosa? Was it Bryce Huff? Who stood out to you? Let me know in the comments on this one. I appreciate it. And I want to talk about several individual players real quick. And then at the end, we'll get to general overall themes about the game that I think several aspects that I think are good news for the 49ers going forward. Starting with Mac Jones, your backup quarterback who played today, who is probably going to be your backup quarterback next week per Adam Schefter this morning, saying that Brock Purdy, is unlikely to play next week, that the 49ers believe he will not be ready next week. Mac Jones goes 26 for 39, 279 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He took care of the football too, didn't throw any interceptions. Now, was I massively impressed by Mac Jones? No. Do I feel like he made a lot of mistakes? Absolutely. Do I feel like he presents a better option than Brock Purdy? Not at all. But did he go out there and throw for nearly 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and not throw an interception? Absolutely he did. And you got to give him credit to that. I told you I did not want Mac Jones going out there taking risks. And I feel like he did a good job not taking risks. There were times that he took sacks where I think, maybe he would have tried to force the ball downfield and chose not to. And I'm going to give some massive credit to Mac Jones and this coaching staff for ensuring that the number one job was to take care of the football, because that ended up putting the 49ers in some really good spots. That's my personal opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments as always. But when I look at Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler, I feel like Mac Jones was far and away the better quarterback on the field between the two. And Spencer Rattler, by the way, played pretty well. Robert Saleh made a big deal about how he felt like this kid is a lot better than he's getting credit for. Goes 25 for 34, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Spencer Rattler played pretty well. I thought actually a couple of those scrambles, Rattler could have gone a lot further if he wanted to. If he wanted to put his body on the line, he could have gotten quite a few more yards out of a couple of those runs because he had the 49ers absolutely not ready for that move. That being said, I want to give some massive credit to Mac Jones. I felt like, I'll be honest with you, in the first 2 drives, I was looking at, I was thinking, this guy's not very good at football. That's how it felt. It's like, this is not a good situation. He doesn't look mobile. He doesn't look comfortable. And he's struggling hard. Did not love the play calling in the first drive, which obviously, every play is situational. So it's not that simple, but you don't run the ball at all in the first drive. And Mac Jones does not look great, and it looks like a huge concern. But all that being said, he has a couple bad drives at the beginning, has a couple of bad drives toward the end, not ideal at all, but got to give Mac Jones his flowers for going out there and throwing for nearly 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is something that I did not expect we were going to get out of him. So good news going forward. We have a backup quarterback who did find a rhythm, did get comfortable, did find a way to move the ball down the field, and the 49ers will be able to do a lot more with that. Another individual player we should talk about is Mykel Williams. Mykel Williams had 5 tackles, 2 for loss, and I can't wait to find out what his pressure rate was, because I felt like Mykel Williams was much, much more involved this week. It did not appear to me, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, we talked about how he was double-teamed and shipped more than anybody else in the NFL. Your rookie, Mykel Williams, more than everybody else in the NFL, which is unbelievable when you think about some of the defensive ends out there in the NFL. But that being said, I was then paying attention to it today, and I didn't feel like he was getting double-teamed quite as much. I didn't feel like he was getting chipped as much. So it looked to me like Mykel Williams had a little more space, and he was able to make some decent production out of it. So we'll look forward to more stats on Mykel Williams' performance later. Juwan Jennings, immense. Had a tough drop that I don't think was his fault. I think Mac Jones kind of fingertipped it to him, didn't quite get it where he could catch it. It was kind of a short yardage pass, and so it was coming with a lot of heat, the short distance, not a lot of time to react, and just a little bit led. But all that being said, Juwan Jennings, 42-yard touchdown was a brilliant play. And I got to give hats off to Mac Jones on that play as well. So this is a great play by Juwan Jennings, but equally great, if not better, by Mac Jones to throw a layered throw, 42-yard pass, not air yards, but 42-yard touchdown. Must have been 18 to 22 air yards, somewhere in that range. I thought Mac Jones had an incredible ball to Juwan Jennings. It was a great play design by Kyle Shanahan, so massive credit there. And Juwan Jennings ended up having the play in the game that one made the most impact of all of the plays. Christian McCaffrey, his touchdown was good too, and you give some credit to Mac Jones for that touchdown as well. Not saying, but anyway, Juwan Jennings, loved it, absolutely incredible. He's Mr. Reliable, and you appreciate Juwan Jennings. Oh, by the way, speaking of Juwan Jennings, Kyle Shanahan said after the game that Juwan Jennings was playing through a lot of pain. That it was a lot for him to go out there and suit up today. So seriously, hats off to Juwan Jennings. He played well. Upton Stout is another player that played well. I thought he had an incredible game from what I saw. Just passing the eye test, it felt like he was pretty involved. 5 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, nearly had a second sack. And the one play where he has just one of the most incredible pass breakups, absolutely owns the defender, or owns the wide receiver. And they call it back for one of the most bogus calls I've seen in a long time. That was really bad. That was so bad it takes me all the way back to the Kansas City Chiefs game last year when every call seemed to go their way. I mean, that was a bad call. Upton Stout played really, really well from what I could tell. I look forward to watching that one back, seeing the All-22 and all that good stuff, but I thought he played really well. D. Winters, wow. D. Winters, speaking of immense, this guy is really shaping up to be one heck of a linebacker. And when I said I just need him to take that little step up, he took more than a little step up this offseason, guys. He looks like a different player. He's given the opportunity. He's got a better coaching staff around him, better defensive coordinator around him at least. And man, he's taking advantage of it. And the commentator talked about Azeez Al-Shaair, Dre Greenlaw, and how the 49ers just find a way to turn that position into a meaningful position. They didn't last year with Devondre Campbell, but they did this year with D. Winters. Absolutely did. He was incredible. So huge shout out to D. Winters. Game ball to him. Nick Bosa, 9 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 2 QB hits, and I suspect quite a few pressures. Opposite of him was Bryce Huff. On a critical passing downs, Bryce Huff showed why they brought him in. The 2 guys that several people after the game were calling closers by the way that they impact the game in the last 2 weeks, and that is a scary front on obvious passing downs. So hugely excited about Nick Bosa and Bryce Huff. All these things we projected before the season started. So this one was not news to me, but seeing it in the flesh, it's pretty exciting. It is pretty exciting actually getting to see it in real life now. So all of that being said, good news for the 49ers in general to kind of wrap up that segment is to say you've got a backup quarterback who showed he can get in rhythm. He's got a wide receiver. And by the way, we'll talk about other ones in a second, but Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, he was connecting with these guys, finding them. The rhythm wasn't quite there, wasn't perfect, but I was very, very happy with them. And I'm curious if you'll tell me what you think about who else belongs on this list, guys, for real. Let me know who else belongs in this, because I'm thinking Fred Warner was immense, absolutely immense. 7 solo tackles, 4 assisted tackles. I think he had 11 total tackles. 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass breakup, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. The guy was unbelievably good. Ricky Pearsall looked great, averaging 14 yards per reception, but they spread the ball around, so it wasn't just Ricky Pearsall, Slick Rick. Then you got Christian McCaffrey going for 52 yards through the air, 55 yards on the ground. Kendrick Bourne got a few receptions out there as well for 32 yards. Tonjes had 31 yards. Luke Farrell had 15 yards. That's what you expect out of an offense without Kittle, without Juice, without Brandon Aiyuk, without Purdy. You're seeing the ball going all over the place. A lot of guys getting involved. So I was really excited to see Kendrick Bourne out there. Luke Farrell had a couple great passing plays or receptions for the Jaguars in the past. And so I knew he could catch. So he had some opportunities there. It wasn't all perfect, though. It wasn't all perfect. Some questionable drives in there for sure. Third down efficiency was 8 for 15. Still not great, but decent. Versus their 4 and 11, which from our defensive perspective is fantastic. Time of possession was even, and it should not have been. The 49ers should have maintained possession for much longer than the New Orleans Saints based on my eye test. I felt like the 49ers should have had possession for much longer. Part of that, I felt like they struggled to get the run game going early on. I felt like they were really trying to pass the ball a lot. So that hurts your time of possession a little bit there. But anyway, they were even on the turnover battle again. So, you'd like to stay plus territory on the turnover battle. I'm reusing phrases and using them in the wrong places. So just ignore that. We got outrushed by the Saints. That doesn't make sense to me. So there are definitely some things that I want to dive deeper on this week as we break down this game, as we plan ahead for the next game. And of course, super, super important injury updates are going to be coming for the 49ers in the next 24 hours. So be paying attention for that as well. Let me know what you guys think, as always, in the comments. Appreciate you guys. I'm really interested to see what your guys' takes are, because we are now 7 days away from the Arizona Cardinals. Appreciate you guys and hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening.